Okay, for a question like this on the GRE, they're asking you to multiply these two big numbers. Now, on a test on the GRE, they don't actually expect you to actually multiply these two numbers um, out. Especially when you look at the answer choices, you could see that they're not really looking for a big number. They're looking just for another form of the answer, a kind of a simplification, especially in exponent form. So this brings us to a math concept that they're really trying to test here, which is um, difference of two squares. So let's think about that. So a difference of two squares simply means if I have x squared minus y squared, x squared minus y squared, it breaks up into x plus y and then x minus y. So based on that idea here, if we look in here, we'll notice something kind of similar about these two numbers. They kind of have something, they're both pretty close to 100,000. That's the first thing. They're both pretty close to 100,000. So this is 100,000 and 16, and this is less of 100,000 by 16, meaning it's just short of 100,000 by 16. So that tells me that I can rewrite this as 100,000 plus 16, and then this I can write as 100,000 minus 16, which if you look at this looks very similar to what I just wrote up here. So again, the idea here, now you may sit there and say, well, I don't know, there's no way I'm going to know that, there's just no way I will have figured that out. Well, that's why you study, obviously. And as you're studying, one of the things you just want to recognize is they just don't want you to multiply these two things together. So you're looking for, okay, what is unique about these numbers? Well, this is 16 more than 100,000, and this is 16 less than 100,000, and pretty much that's what we've written here. We're saying 16 plus 100,000 and 16 100,000 minus 16. So that gives us this. Well, if you compare this to what I have up here, right, you have a situation where essentially my x, let me kind of highlight that, essentially my x here is now kind of like my 100,000, and my 16 here is like my y now. So if that is the case, I should be able to write this whole thing in this format as a difference of two squares. So watch what I do here. I go ahead and say 100,000 all squared minus the 16 all squared. That's essentially what these two things when multiplied become, okay, because it just recognizes the difference of two squares. Okay, so at this point we just need to simplify this a little bit to get the answer choices here. Now as you look at the answer choices here, they're all in exponent form. So that's kind of getting me to say, you know what, I think I need to rewrite these numbers in exponent form. So when I see this right here, I have pretty much 100,000, which is really 5 zeros, right? So I'm going to write that as a 10 to the 5th power because there are 5 zeros there. So I'm going to write that, and I still have a square, minus, when I look here, notice in all these answers they're all 2's. So this 16 becomes 2 to the 4. And the way we do that is you literally use your fingers. And I know you guys are watching me on video right now, so I'm going to use my fingers here. Watch this. To get 16 to be 2 to the 4, because a lot of people look at 16 and think, oh, that's 2 times 8. That's not what we're talking about here. We're saying 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16. So it takes 4 2's to get that 16. So that's how I got 2 to the 4. And all of that is to the power 2. Then we need to clean that up. That obviously is 10 to the 5 times 2. There is 10 minus over here. This is 2 to the what? 8. Okay. So at this point, this is pretty much our answer, which is C. So that's how you do a question like this, recognizing the difference of two squares idea, but then recognizing really that these numbers are very close to 100,000. This is just 16 more and this is 16 less, and then off of that you're able to write your difference of two squares based on 100,000 and 16, and that gets us the answer, which is C.